Good morning, welcome to TERRA at Home. I'm here with Sumati from TERRA, and we're kind of in this fun little department area in TERRA that some people may not realize is here. I definitely do. I'm always floating around in here. So we're talking about sort of some of the other side of TERRA. Obviously we're very familiar with the plant life and making our outdoors and our indoors beautiful with flowers and fixing up our gardens, but there's also wonderful things like jewelry and clothing and hand creams, and
we have some exciting accessories in our fashion and style shop. So surprise, we have a style shop.
Yes.
You can buy clothing. It's all very practical stuff that you really would wear, that we're wearing.
Yes, exactly.
Comfortable,
Yep.
Easy to care for too. Lots of different items available. So it might not be quite the season for shorts and really hot weather yet, but a lot of people are going on vacation.
Yes.
And who doesn't want to get ready for that warm season just a little bit early? It's a little bit aspirational.
Yeah, I was going to say that's exactly what it is. When you're walking through, you can't help it. It's again just like we gravitate towards all the beautiful cushions and again some of just the beautiful floral arrangements that we have just to brighten up our homes.
That's true.
We want to brighten up our wardrobe as well.
Think warm, feel warm.
Yeah,
So
we'll somehow get ourselves there quicker.
it's happening.
We have these long winters here in Southern Ontario that just drag on forever. And as you say, generally people like to escape, even if it's for a quick weekend getaway somewhere.
That's right.
Some of these items are really going to come in handy.
That's right. Easy to pack, easy to care for. So really important as far as holiday packing goes for certain. And speaking of that, we have some great accessories with things like a little straw bag for a holiday with a packable hat inside. So
I love that.
Really handy stuff, and you know, fun to use all summer, but perfect for a holiday in the sun somewhere.
Yeah, we have amazing sun hats here, like some really great ones to choose from.
We have a lot of different hats, so these are just a couple of them for any time and any occasion, really. Some are a little dressier, some a lot more, you know, the straw or paper ones that are a lot more suited to a beach or summertime, but there are a ton of different items. Scarves.
And for all ages too, right? So
yes.
I mean, really, you can run the whole gamut, and you know, I actually was looking at a couple different hats because you can, and scarves.
Yes.
Because it's still that time of year where you can throw on a light scarf, and you need that, particularly if you are flying, you're at an airport, you want to have a little bit something else.
That's right, and there's some other nice pieces. We have a nice few different colorways and a few different looks to offer, and some we have right now some nice navy and red that does include some cardigans, something that would be good to travel in, frankly, because you can layer it up a little bit. And we have some nice red polka dot dresses, cardigans to wear, different layering pieces so that you do have a little bit of wiggle room. Given the temperature.
Well, and that's the thing, and also, you know, a lot of people love doing cruises, and any time of the year on a cruise, you do need to have those layers, right? Because you are out in the ocean, you're being exposed to elements.
It might just be a warm breeze.
Right, it's true, but you want to have a light sweater, and I love some of the nautical colors, as you mentioned, the navy blue and the reds, the polka dots, so they still have that, it's, again, multi-purpose because you are able to wear them while you're away on vacation, but again, something as we move through spring and into summer.
Yeah, they transition nicely, so we might not be ready, although we're looking at all the bright colors, might not be ready to want to wear them yet, but we do have a lot of nice transition pieces. So as I said, navy and red that will still feel warmer while you're wearing them, but something a little fresh and new, feeling like you're ready for the next season. And a lot of brights, pastels, which are really, really strong this season as far as being on trend. And that's something that's really reasonable to point out, is that so many of these pieces are just really on trend as far as the lines, the colors, the fashion that is in the moment, and easy to wear, so that you can be on trend without having to worry, is this really right for me? Should I be looking at this?
Exactly.
These are all really, really easy to wear pieces.
Right, and good price points too, you might add, right? And that's like the best part, right? When you find something, you look at the price, you're like, oh, well, that's easy. I
don't
can
have to
this.
think too hard.
And that's the best when something is on trend. You know, you don't want to sometimes invest too much money in trendy things, because, you know, by next
changes
year,
so fast.
things change. And again, you can alter them and make them work with your wardrobe regardless, but yes, so something like what I'm wearing is very light and airy and beautiful to wear. And again, as you mentioned, comes in light, has so like nice creamy ivory color, but some pinks and blues, and so different colors.
And nice soft colors, easy to wear with any kind of bottoms. You can wear them with jeans or with shorts with a skirt.
Right.
Any
or
pieces like that.
And,
that's right. Yeah. Even
and
that with a maxi
too.
dress underneath is nice as a layering piece.
True enough,
right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I really like what you're wearing as well. Beautiful colors as well. That's more of that beautiful periwinkle. But I think what's really cool about yours is, again, is just two separate pieces.
That's right. So a lot of these pieces do come that way, and this one's got got an under layer with an A line to it. Again, makes it versatile, makes it something that you can wear with more than just the one outfit or one top as you buy it.
Exactly, and again, you know, obviously I'm wearing shorter sleeves this time of year, we may be pushing that a little bit, but again, it's just as we move through the seasons and if we are traveling.
And again, those two different layers, that undershirt, that can be worn entirely different outfit with something else completely, and it still works.
Yeah, and we're talking about the wonderful jewelry as well. Lots to choose from. We both have pieces from here as well, earrings, bracelets, and again, it's kind of funny. You go to TERRA and you're going to buy maybe some lanterns and some flowers and things like that, and then you come out with a full wardrobe. So
you can come out with a full wardrobe, bags, purses, hats, jewelry, the whole gambit.
And you could just, you know what, your husband won't even catch on at all. You're like, oh, she's going to TERRA, she's going to buy flowers, and then you just put this all in your trunk and you're good to go.
Easy pieces. And nice to mention that the jewelry, you know, if you're traveling, you don't necessarily want to travel with the pieces that you would want to make sure you don't lose. So very easy, as you mentioned, very affordable, easy to pack something that you're going to feel comfortable wearing, feel like you finished your outfit, and again, not be worried about it too much.
Right. Now, one thing I want to mention is the wonderful hand creams that I was alluding to. Beautiful line here as well that we have with candles and just really gorgeous high-end line.
Really great line from K Hall Studio. What's nice about this line is that these products are rich in shea butter. They don't contain any of the ingredients that, you know, we look to make sure are not in our cosmetics anymore.
It's very important, right? So the parabens and again, they're vegan products as well.
That's right, and they're not tested on animals. Really nice and rich. Here's some hand lotion in peony. So these have nice tie-in for the garden. The scents really are beautiful. They use botanicals to scent. It's very rich, very nourishing. I know I have really dry skin, and I've found this lotion to be really great. We have hand butters, body lotions, bath salts. The soap is triple milled soap, so you know, you're looking at a product that is a good quality. It's not something that you're going to have to use a ton of when you're using it to apply, and it will last. And really nice fragrances. Perfumes as well as room scents, so you know, you can go as far or as limited as you like, but you can layer with this, and very nice and rich, nice on the skin.
And again, with something like this, you do want to have high quality ingredients as well, because you are putting them on your skin. So obviously, everything we put on our skin, we ingest in our bodies. So it's definitely important to pay attention to those type of things. And again, the candles that you're burning in your room, just
it's true. Quality. And we actually have these in 5 different scents. We have the full line in 5 different scents, and it's great for gifting too.
It is.
Thinking about going to visit family, or Mother's Day is coming. So these are all perfect things to either say a little thank you, or you know, you can go bigger with a full collection of things, make a gift bag out of it.
See, so the guys can come in as well when they're doing their again, flower shopping, and they can come over here and buy gifts.
We've made it easy, and you know, actually, I'm smelling this, and it really does smell like fresh peonies.
It smells amazing. You're right. Thank you, Sumati. Very good. The other side of TERRA. We'll be back with more after this. When I dream in color. When I think of color, I think of TERRA. Make your dreams come true at TERRA, where color lives.
Heritage perennials. Look for us in the blue pots.
Good morning, welcome back to TERRA at Home. We're hanging out at Niagara-on-the-Lake today. I'm here with Danny from Oast House Brewery, and kind of a fun little place to be. Now we've slowly, as you're sitting around in restaurants around the region, we're starting to get familiar with this little logo here, Oast House.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about the place.
Oast House is a local craft brewery in Niagara-on-the-Lake. We make 3 standard beers, and then we also make some seasonals, and we're bringing in some local fruits, and we send them off to restaurants all throughout Ontario.
That's fun. Okay, so now the one that we have right here that you've poured for us is your most popular one right now that people may see more on menus outside of the region.
Definitely.
Right?
So this is our Barn Raiser Country Ale, and it's a dry hopped pale ale, has some citrus notes to it, and then it also is just very refreshing since it's just a very refreshing beer.
Okay, now so in maybe we should try it, and
Sure.
it's funny, you know, when we look down, we're here hanging out in a wine country, right? And we're talking about wines and how wines are paired with foods all the time. Beer is paired with foods as well, right?
What I've learned, because I actually started in the wine industry, is that beer's easier to pair with food than wine. So it just has, especially craft beer, because it has so much flavor to it.
Sure, so this is something that could go with a variety of different foods.
Oh, absolutely.
Beer is beer, right? Some people are like, oh, I just want to drink a beer, but once you taste it, there are so many different tasting notes, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so let's give this a try.
What do you think?
That's very nice.
It's refreshing, right?
It is actually very refreshing. The very back end of it's just very uplifting.
Yep.
Sometimes people who aren't beer drinkers can find certain beers can be to give them that bitterness, or it's just not smooth enough for them, right? So they don't even want to go there.
For sure. This beer is a little bit hoppy, but it does have that clean finish to it.
It does.
So it makes it very popular.
Okay, absolutely. I can see that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the other ones that we have here.
Sure. We have some bottle conditioned beers. These beers are really unique. They're a rustic style of making beer that naturally preserves the beer.
Okay.
Basically, we re-ferment the beer in the bottle, and that adds natural carbonation, and then also allows the beer to keep and actually improve with age, which is unique for beer.
Oh, so that's so as you say, the rustic approach. That's what that is.
Yes, so people used to make these styles in their farmhouses, and that's why they're called farmhouse ales. So craft breweries are definitely bringing these beers back to life, and a lot of people are enjoying them. They tend to be very smooth, a little bit more yeast driven, and these are very easy to pair with food, which makes them special around this area especially.
So now you were saying how, you know, the first one that we had, Barn Raiser, again, it's very light and citrus at the tail end. What would be the difference between the two of these?
This beer, I find it's a little bit creamier. It has almost a clove, spicy note to it. The Bière de Garde is a darker, maltier beer, but they're done in that same style. We just use different ingredients in both of those beers.
I see. Okay. Now it's interesting to look at the size of the bottles too.
Yes.
Right. And you know, what is this equivalent to when you're looking at a bottle this big? When someone's thinking of the size of, say, a draft glass or a regular size bottle of beer, what is this equivalent to?
About 2.5 bottles of beer.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you say, hey, I just had one bottle.
Oh yeah, well, especially this bottle. Look at that.
So let's talk about that. So, you know, I was wondering what was inside of that, but it can be whatever you want it to be.
Yes. So what we do is we fill the beer right off the tap into this bottle, and the beer should be consumed within 5 days of purchasing it because it is fresh from the tap. But we can have more fun with these beers because we can switch them up more often because we're not having to label it, or we're not having to label it or bottle it. So it's much more popular with the local crowds here.
Yeah, I can imagine. And again, as you were saying, it's eco-friendly because so you can take this bottle. Can you bring a bottle back and say, hey, fill it up for me?
Absolutely. We'll just give you a brand new one that's nice and clean.
Yeah.
And we can just keep re-sanitizing these bottles.
Very cool. How much fun is that? I love that. Okay, so we're talking about all these different varieties and how fun that is, but it's about the experience as well, right?
Yes.
So again, you know, as you're walking around wine country and, you know, you're going in and out of these wineries, you can go into Oast House just the same way. So you walk in here, very cool environment, and you go up for tastings. How does it all work out for people?
Great, because people actually are educated on their products instead of just kind of guessing what they might like.
Yes.
So they can try it out, they can take it home, they might figure out what they really, really love and what they might not like so much. So it's kind of interesting in that way.
So people are able to get a small tasting glass just like you would a glass of wine.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing, there are so many microbreweries around too, right, that of all different varieties, and people really want to support the business and support local breweries. But as you say, you don't know what you're getting sometimes.
For sure.
How awesome is it to be able to come in here and try it out?
Yeah.
Right?
And what's new as well is we've been bringing in a local chef. His name's Adam, and he owns a food truck called El Gastronomo Vagabundo.
Oh, we know this place. So
yes,
good.
Great food. So he comes in on Friday nights and Saturday and Sunday afternoons, and that allows people to stay for a full pint. So when we have food, we can actually serve a larger size glass.
Okay, so I was wondering how you were doing the food thing here, and that's how you're doing it.
Yes. So it's a little pop-up pub that we just do a few times a week.
That is a cool idea. I love that. That's so smart. I was going to this is my question. I need to know how you're incorporating food and beer. Oh, now, again, tell me about the building itself, because a lot of people, what we think is quite funny is that this used to be an old antique house.
Yes.
And so people still come looking for that sometimes.
Yeah, I still have some people coming in looking for antiques. The building itself is about 100 years old, and it's been a number of different businesses. It's been a farmer's co-op, a Meridian Bank, John Deere dealership, so it's been a number of different things.
Really?
So we took over about 2.5 years ago.
Okay, and is that when the brewery first opened?
Yes.
Wow, so it's still quite new.
Oh, absolutely.
And all production's down here on site?
Yep, just in the back there. We have a little brew house there.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can do, right, in just a small little vicinity like this. And you know, we're so used to these giant breweries that make these huge productions, and you can do something like here, just like this. And so much character in the building as well. And ping pong table. There's so many fun things to do, and we have an event space upstairs, so we've been hosting our own events, and then people can also book the space and have weddings, rehearsal dinners, corporate functions, so there's lots of other things. So you can actually like do a wedding here?
Oh yeah, we just had our first one.
Really?
Recently, yes.
Okay, so like how many people?
They had 50 people, we can hold about 100 people.
Wow, that would be really neat.
Yeah, cute little size wedding.
So then again, you bring in a caterer and you would just pair up and be able to serve beer and wine and all kinds of fun things like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so with your experience in wine and then coming into a beer house, again, did you find that background in wine really must have given you an interesting perspective on beer? Did it help you, or did you find you had to relearn a whole different process here?
You do have to relearn a process, but at the same time, there's certain fermentation processes that can be similar, and the setup that we have is quite similar. We have a tasting room, we can educate people, we can bring people around on a tour. So it was great to have that background and be able to provide it to the beer industry.
I can imagine. So, you know, people can come in groups, and again, it's just walk off the streets. You don't have to book in advance. You can just come in and have a tasting.
Yes.
What are your hours again for the week?
We're open from 10 till 5 currently, and open 10 till 6 on the weekends.
Nice.
And then Friday nights we stay open much later.
For the party.
For a big
food
party.
truck. See, that's actually a really, really fun idea.
Oh, for sure.
So obviously, once we get into the summer months, this gets really popular down here, and I'm sure you're quite busy.
Oh yeah, it gets crazy in the summer, but we're also very lucky that we have a lot of local supporters. So we've been keeping pretty busy in the winter, actually.
Very good. Yeah, that's awesome. And you're again right off the main drag here as you're heading down into Niagara-on-the-Lake. So
great
spot. You can't miss it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Thanks, Danny. All right, Oast House. We'll be back with more Terra at Home right after this. When I dream in color. When I think of color, I think of Terra. Make your dreams come true at TERRA, where color lives.
You've sat under them and built forts in them. You've swung from them and fell out of them. You've even fallen in love under them. Trees have always held a special place in our hearts and memories. A natural beauty, trees will grow with you and your family and bring color and nature into your world. For your assurance of quality, look for trees and shrubs with the Medallion plant tag. Medallion plants, locally grown, the pride of Niagara.
Good morning. Welcome back to TERRA at Home. We're back with Chef Mark from Piazza Allegra Restaurant in Hamilton. And in our TERRA kitchen today, we are making...
We're doing a braised lamb.
Braised lamb.
Yes, we're
okay.
getting ready for Easter.
Yes, I can't believe it. So we're a weekend away, so it gives you some time to prep.
That's right.
Figure out what you're going to make.
And this one, the way I'm doing this lamb, I mean, lamb is traditionally done around Easter time anyway. A very traditional way is to do it with rosemary, garlic, white wine, stuff like that. So this one is a little bit different. This one is a tomato-based braised lamb. We're going to do it with some red onions, some olives. This is going to have a real Southern Italian, or
this is very Italian, isn't it?
This is very Italian. And a little Mediterranean flair, because we're going to use a little bit of allspice in this one.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
And then we got our stock, our red wine, and away we go.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to start building a bit of a sauce first. So I have my roasting pan, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of oil to it, and then I'm going to take some tomato paste, and I put the tomato paste into the pan. We'll start sautéing that. And what's going to happen is I'm going to mix it around in the oil and really caramelize it and brown it up. Okay? We have some onions. You can do slices, diced, whatever you prefer. I like sliced just because I like chunky, a nice chunky look to it.
Yep.
So we'll use that.
Okay.
Throw in some pepper. We have some salt. And now, this is leg of lamb. So what we did is we took a whole leg of lamb. It's been deboned, okay, and took out all the connective tissue and stuff, and then all we're going to do is cut it into chunks.
Okay.
So what's nice about this is it's a little bit different than, say, doing a lamb shank or something else that you might do.
Yes.
With this, you can put it on top of a pasta or rice or
Right.
something like that,
That's what I
or
was just
serve it as a
thinking.
stew. I'm going to throw that into the pan. You want to leave it fairly chunky because it will break down and it will obviously shrink as it cooks.
Okay.
Now, this is coming to the end of our braising season.
All right, you know, it's funny you said that. I was just thinking the same thing. We're sort of wrapping up that the more deep, rich, hearty dishes,
That's right. We're going to, very shortly, in the next few episodes, we'll start working on some more summer and spring-like items. I know. It's exciting stuff.
Exciting.
But, you know, wrap it up. You know, do a nice robust dish. Because again, if you eat in season and you kind of eat with what's around you and the temperatures outside, you won't feel like doing this in the summertime. You know,
It's
you'll
amazing
have
that you
plenty of it.
actually just don't.
Yep.
It's funny, you totally acclimatize to what's going on, and you generally just gravitate towards lighter fare in the warmer
That's
months, right?
You've probably had enough. You've eaten this. You know, you've been going since
You've
maybe
bulked
October.
up.
Yeah.
Time to
You've
unbulk.
bulked. Yes, you've bulked up. You put on that extra layer to insulate yourself in Canada.
Yeah. Bear's coming out of hibernation now, so time to slim down and wear less clothing.
Exactly. So we're going to put a little bit more salt and pepper now. We're going to season that meat. I put in some pureed garlic, okay? I'm going to throw in my onions.
What's nice about this too, again, you're just putting it all in one
pan.
pan, done, right?
All one pan.
Yeah, love that.
And then we have our allspice. Now you have to be careful. This is extremely strong.
So
Okay.
again, you were mentioning, you know, what a lot of people know as preparing lamb traditionally, but you know, it is fun to kind of branch out and use some of these different spices, but you do, people get scared, right? Because,
Yes.
you know, just to all of a sudden come up with this on your own. So it's nice to have a little bit of guidance in some of the flavor profiles that will work with allspice too,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
And not choose too much of it.
Yeah. And you know, it's one of those where you're better off using less of this. Try the dish after it's done cooking and everything, and then you know for next time, okay, I put this much, I put one tiny little pinch, maybe the next time you put 2 pinches. And you're gonna have to find what you're comfortable eating. Because there are certain cultures and stuff will use a lot of this, and they're very used to
They're
it.
just used
but
to
if
it.
they have it in a lot of their dishes, you almost become desensitized to it.
Yes.
Where in North America we don't use a lot of allspice.
No.
You know, that kind of flavor profile really only shows up in our baking, not a lot
That's right,
in
that's what I
cooking.
think of.
Exactly.
Right.
So, you know, when you start adding it into more main entree style food or appetizers and stuff like that, you really got to play with how much you're going to use. That way you don't overpower the dish.
Now, do you find you do that in your restaurant a lot with certain things? You know, even something like saffron, I find some people aren't sure how much they like of it. Do you tend to go on the lighter side of it, or do you just know that if someone's ordering a dish with something like that in it, that they're going to know that this is what you're getting?
I'm about bold flavors.
Yeah, see, I know you are, and that's the thing, right? I think people just have to recognize,
Yeah.
you know, that that's just what you're going to get, right? Don't be complaining.
Every chef has their own style of cooking, and some like very subtle flavors and flavors that are infused and stuff like that. I'm more of a, you know, I cook very robust, very full-bodied, very flavorful. I'm not into subtleties when I come to cooking. It's just
Why
my
bother,
style.
right?
Yeah, you know, you know, the hint of this to me is like, don't give me a hint. Hit me in the face with it. I want to taste that.
If you say it's in there, it's in there, right?
Now, of course, there's appropriate amounts for all of that.
Sure.
But you know, again, I want the allspice to
Right.
kind of jump out. I want you to be able to pick up on that.
Sure. So just if you're at home, just and you haven't used these in this method before, then as you say, just start.
Take your time.
Take your time.
Yeah, work with it slowly.
Right.
So what we've done, we're starting to brown it all up, and it's all been coated with that tomato paste, and we have some garlic in there, the salt, the onions are in there. The allspice now, I'm going to add some red wine.
Okay.
Now I'm going to add in some olives. And I prefer olives that are whole. I just think it's a better flavor that you get out of the olive as opposed to ones that are pitted. Now, the only thing is you got to remember that they're whole, so when you go to eat them, don't just
But they'll
jump in
all
there.
soften up.
They'll
and
soften
just,
up, yeah.
They're just lovely when they're like that.
We're going to add some stock.
Okay.
And again, this is braising. So anytime you do braising, actually, if you can throw me some parsley over there, I'd appreciate it. Anytime you do any sort of braising, you're looking at cooking it nice and low, low temperature for a long period of time.
Okay.
Okay? So we're going to take quite a bit of this. Now, this is one thing that doesn't get used a lot. Parsley doesn't get used as a flavor profile.
Right. It's generally garnish for a lot of people, right?
But it actually has a beautiful, beautiful flavor to it.
I actually never put it inside of my cooking either. I mean, I've had it, you know, but again, at home, I've never actually put it into the cooking. So, all right, what we're going to do is we're going to put that in the oven, right?
Sounds
and
good.
let it do its thing, and we'll come back and we'll present it to you. We'll be right back. When I dream in color. When I think of color, I think of TERRA. Make your dreams come true at TERRA, where color lives.
I am a truth seeker.
A storyteller.
A dedicated volunteer.
I am a caring neighbor.
A customer's best friend.
And a client advocate.
I am a survivor.
A social media junkie.
A proud father of four and problem solver.
I am the Hamilton Spectator.
I am the Hamilton Spectator.
I am the Hamilton Spectator.
I am.
We are the Hamilton Spectator.
Welcome back to TERRA at Home. We're back with Chef Mark in our kitchen here at TERRA, and we are braising lamb, and it smells amazing. We're talking about how this is kind of that end of the season push from winter. And as we know, even though we cross over into spring, we cross over getting close to Easter, our weather doesn't always follow the season perfectly.
Our expectations.
Yes, our expectations of, hey, big switch, bright light, and, you know, tulips blooming. But we're getting there. So we're still kind of working on those cozy dishes right now.
Yeah, this is one of those where we got that lamb. It was a leg of lamb. And what's nice about that is, you know, you're using a cut that's not really expensive. Okay?
Yes.
And that's a huge part of dining these days. You know, cooking at home, if you're feeding a larger family, it's getting expensive.
It gets expensive.
You know?
I remember even as a kid, though, lamb was always a very big treat for us.
Yeah.
You know, when we came home, we're like, ooh, it's one of the maybe 2 times we're going to have lamb this year, so let's enjoy, right? So
we cooked that nice and slow. We did that in the oven about 3 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours again, about 300 degrees. And then that sauce just thickened up, all those flavors incorporated.
That's amazing.
And there we go. And we have those olives, and they still have a little bit of the acidity from the brine and all that.
Right. Just a reminder as well, we have this recipe on our website at terragreenhouses.com, so you can give it a try. And again, this might be a little bit outside of the box of some of the flavors that you would use.
That's right.
Obviously, as you say, it's more Mediterranean style with that allspice in there, so do some experimenting, and look at that.
I think you could still get away with incorporating some crusty bread with that.
Oh, you can eat bread.
Think?
Oh, yes. No
I'm
doubt
thinking
about that.
It's it's one of those things because as we were talking, once you get into those warmer months, you start taking out the breads, you start having salads and things like that. So enjoy while we have the opportunity to do so.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Chef Mark.
Thank
Always
you.
Great working in the kitchen with you. All right, I hope you try it this weekend. Have yourself a good one.